Hey y'all, give me a minute to get this link sent to everybody. There we go. Let me get the link. Here. Really? There we go. Okay. Sent to my other people. Y'all, my fingers are not wanting to work today. All right. Almost there. Almost there. There we go, y'all. We'll let everybody get in here, then we're going to go live. When you come in, give this a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because a lot of people forget to do that. So, happy to have you. All right, let me clear some things off. As you may or may not be able to tell, we are going to be doing a patriotic theme with this ring tray. I put it out for a vote on in a lot of different places, and patriotic won the day. Hey, glad you are here, Melinda. Happy to have you. Where are you coming in from? Did you get any snow? Are you snowbound? Y'all, I want to show you this beautiful tray. I made this the other day, and I simply used white paste, red paste, and a little bit of gold flake, which you can see a little bit sneaking through here and there. I didn't use a lot, and I put it in clear, which you can clearly see down the side here where that gold flake comes into play and that beautiful design along the sides. I love pouring these. They're not heavy, so they're a great little tray to throw your rings on, put in the bathroom, catch your necklaces. You can put whatever you want there. Hey, Linda. So glad you made it. Are y'all buried in snow yet? We actually got a dusting. Not a lot, though. Not like we got last week. It's crazy. So, y'all, let me get my gloves on. I put this out, like I said, to a lot of places, and I have a boo-boo. I ripped a hangnail out. Have y'all done that? Oh, yes, you will, Melinda. Y'all have a lot coming your way, don't you? It's going to be wild. I live in Colorado, in the mountains, and we got our first big snow last week? Maybe the week before? And we are like really behind. But we get the majority of our snow here in Colorado in the spring. So I'm expecting this spring to break records. It's been a while. We've had a lot of mild seasons. 6 p.m. Wow. Y'all are gonna love it. Hope you stocked up. You have all your resin stuff to go. Let's see. Let's straighten this out. Okay, there we go. So I have pre-mixed some resin. I'm letting it sit. And y'all know I added my cute little marabou. So we have some sparkle, since we're doing a patriotic theme. I want to have that sparkle background. But I have these, and these are actually metal. So they're heavy. They've got some weight to them. So I got these because I knew, y'all, if you're not from the States, and I know I have some, hey, Rebecca. Well, I have gloves on now, so it's hard. So what did you say? I've tried to do a bloom twice and this keeps happening. What am I doing wrong? What keeps happening? The sinking of the white. Okay, cool. Yeah, put it on the page and I'll look at it and see what it looks like. I want to close that down too. All right, I'm going to close. I have to close Facebook down when I'm streaming. All right, so send you a picture, Rebecca, and I'll take a look at it and I'll get with you and let you know. But I will tell you this, that doing a bloom is one of the hardest techniques to learn in resin. It gives everybody problems. It's horrible. Dude, why are y'all not seeing this? Okay. Tell me what y'all see on the screen. It's wild. Okay, never mind, it's good. I just had to refresh mine. I was like, wait a minute, it's still chef in the back. Oh my goodness, y'all. It is Friday for sure. That was wild. Okay, so we're all good. I want to make sure y'all can see everything. Okay. Let me take a quick glance. We got time because this is not going to take long at all, which is going to surprise you guys. It's very easy to elevate your pieces after they cure, and a lot of people think, oh my gosh, it takes so much. I'm not that witty or that crafty. All right, let's, oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I'm not going to post it in the group yet, but at least I know what you're talking about. So I'm going to close Facebook. I saw it, and really answer this question for me. Okay, the white is sinking. What white are you using for your blooms? Do, 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 do. Oh, I want this up here. Well, let me turn this around so y'all can see it correctly. This is how I'm going to lay it out when I put them in. Okay, are you using a white paste? What white are you using in your resin when you do the bloom? So this little star down here. Okay, so that's the problem. Let me explain the difference. This is how we're going to lay it out, y'all. And I'm going to take this, and this is also metal, believe it or not. And I'm going to put that like so. That's how we're going to lay it out. That's not that hard, is it? You see that? How we're laying it out? And that looks cool. It's not overcrowded. And if I wanted to, I can take some of my clear quartz and line that on the sides or frame it all in or put some around. I decided if I'm going to do that yet. I could also use some pearls, you know, whatever you want to do. But let's talk about this issue real quick, Rebecca. In fact, I have some ocean white right here. Ocean white is a paste. Y'all remember that chart that I created that I always post that talks about the weights of colorant and how they react in resin? And we went from the brick from the one side, which is our pigment paste because they're the heaviest. They sink and they stay where you put them. That's why paste is over here. Then you have alcohol inks on the other end of the spectrum because they're the lightest in resin. they float to the top like a helium balloon, right? Now, for a bloom, you need that white alcohol. It's actually a sinker white. A lot of people are using paste, but you're using way too much. For what you want from a bloom, you want, because you use your alcohol inks as the top for your color choices, right? You want to pull that color down into the resin because alcohol inks float to the top. Remember, they're always going upward. So they're not completely incorporated in your resin. So to get those colors down into your resin, you need that sinker, and that's where the paste comes in. But you don't want so much paste that it drags it all to the bottom. That's two things. So what I have found, I use a white sinker, which is a white alcohol ink with a little bit of paste in it that we use for our Petri effect. Remember, you put your alcohol inks and you drop the sinker white on top of it and it pulls it down with these little spores, right? That's what makes that Petri effect. You want that same thing for your bloom. And for the bloom, you want to have the consistency a little darker than 2% milk. So y'all know how if you look at whole milk compared to 2% milk, it looks really watery, that 2% does, right? So you want your color of your white for your bloom to be in between super watery 2% milk and super solid white whole milk. So you want it in the middle. So you add your color under your sinker white until you get to that. And you check it by putting your stick in your cup. And you pull your stick up. And if you can, you're going to see the difference on your stick. Or you can put it on the side of your cup. I find it better to do it so you can see it against your stick. You want to still be able to see your stick, but you don't want to be able to see, it's not completely solid like when we mix our paste stuff. It's completely, like I did this. It was solid white. I could not see my stick at all. So when you do a bloom, you want it between those two consistencies. The biggest factor is what kind of resin do you use? Because if you use a thinner viscosity resin, then you have no resistance. When you drop something in your resin, if it's very thin and you have anything weighted, shoop, it's going to go straight to the bottom, right? If you have a thicker resin like honey, when you drop something in, the resin is going to resist it and it's going to slow down that drop rate. So those are the two things that I find. Either there's too much paste or colorant in your resin, and or you have a very thin resin that doesn't slow the dropping process down enough. Okay, so those are two things. And I'm going to do an updated bloom video, and I'll walk you through that, Rebecca, step by step. But that's a great question. I'm glad you guys asked me these. This is what this Friday with Friends is all about. Let's resin is great, but you want to make sure that you're using their coating resin, a top coat. I forget what else they go by. You could even use a fast cure, but that's a whole nother issue. We'll talk about that in a separate video. But you want a thicker viscosity resin. So, all right. We're going to do that. Coming soon, I promise. We're going to take care of it. Let me double check something. Dude, why am I not? There we go. Okay. You guys, let me move this out of the way. You guys can see this really good, right? Ta-da! Okay, so that's how we're going to lay out our design. And I always like laying it out first before I add any resin to it. Okay? So I get an idea. Do I like that there? Do I want to move anything around? So I like the way this is laid out to celebrate America's 250th birthday this year. It's an incredible year. It's going to be a lot of fun celebrations. But anyway, so to elevate your piece, lay out a design. And you can always change and move things around, but I say lay it out before you put any resin in it. That way you have plenty of time to change things up. Maybe I want to add, I'm just going to add a little bit so it's not hard for me to get it out if I need to. Say I want to add some crystals there, or I want to put them on the side, or I want to see what it's going to look like and get a real good visual on it. Maybe I want to add some pearls to this. You know what I mean? Just add some pearls, whatever. So you can put it in there and visualize and get an idea what it's going to look like before you commit by adding your resin. So a lot of people, oops, I just put that in the wrong thing. A lot of people skip that step. You know, they think, oh my gosh, I need to pour my resin. And once I pour my resin, then I start trying to make decisions and we run into an time crunch. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know why I did that. That doesn't look good. I don't like it. And it's too late because you've already poured your resin. So give yourself time to visualize. Lay it out differently. Maybe I want an eagle down here and a star up here. Whichever looks better. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're like me and you want it all OCD and lined out around each other. But I think this looks the best. So this is what we're going to go with. And I'm not going to leave these in right now when I pour my resin. I'm going to take it out. Set them to the side. And then once I get my resin in here, I can place it, move it around, do what I want. The only thing I'm going to place before I put my resin in is this gold metal piece. And this has a cover on it. It has tape where it's attached to the tape. There's the backing. Get rid of the backing. I'm going to pull. Oop. Gotta be careful. You know what? You can put it down. Y'all, I did not mark this, but I'm just gonna go for it with my OCD eyes. And there we go. And I'm gonna press it down so it sticks. And then I'm gonna pull this clear. Let me get it up. See that? I'm pulling the clear off the top, like so. He is attached, and that is pretty center. I'm pretty happy with that. So, I'm going to throw my little pieces in my handy-dandy trash. Now, what I do want is I want to spray some alcohol and give this a wipe. I don't want any finger smudges or anything like that on there. All right. So regular isopropyl alcohol, just get all your fingerprints and oils and things like that off of it, out of the way. Now I told y'all I pre-mixed my resin. It's not very much because I don't want to fill this cavity up. I just want it coated so it covers all my little pieces, right? And it's going to hold them in place. So I stirred it up and I wiped my stick 3 times when I was stirring, but that's how you do that. Wipe it on the side, scoop it down back into your cup, and you see I added my marabou. It's got that sparkle and glisten in it. I see a hair hanging. Y'all know I have huskies, so they like to include themselves in my projects a lot of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour a thin layer down, like so. Wipe that off. Wipe my glove off. And I'm going to move this around so it's covering every little piece. We have that thin layer. Want to make sure that every little area is touched, right? Right in there. Now look, I can also do this. Tilt it. And that moves your resin. Okay, so every little piece is being touched, like so. Now, I have silicone tip tool. Spray that. See a few bubbles. Now, this I'm going to drop in. I'm going to use my tool to place it where I want. And I'm going to drizzle, pull in this resin on top of it. Like so. So it's all coated and covered. And I want that like so. Okay? See how easy that was? I just put it in, move it around. I'm just going to let it sit. So we're going to do the same thing with our little eagle guy. I'm going to drop him in, press down, and I am going to add a little more resin to this, but you can just scoop up some resin to put over him. Super easy to do. Just scoop it up like so. Now, position him where I want him. And let me tell you, because these are metal, you have less chance of bubbles because it's metal and it's heavy. So what I was talking about with the blooms and sinking down and staying on the bottom, because these are actually metal, I don't really have to worry about plastic and it floating up. It's going to stay where I put it because that is also a concern. So I want to add, excuse me, my star over here, like so. Okay. And we're going to add a flag here. And I'll press it down. Make sure our flag is straight. Y'all, my kids know about my OCD. And it's not like a formal diagnosed crazy little thing. It's just, I know when things are not symmetrical. So when we would go in the doctor's offices when the kids were little, they would point out every picture in the doctor's office that was crooked, off center. Hey, does that bug y'all? Do y'all not like when pictures are not centered on the wall? They're just crooked a little bit off kilter. Drives me crazy. And my kids know it. So they would say, Mom, look, that picture's not straight. Because they knew I'm going to get up out of my chair, I'm going to go to that wall, and I'm going to fix that picture. So it was always a running joke with them to see if they could get me. And one time we went to the emergency room for strep throat or ear infection. I don't remember what it was. And the emergency room had a whole wall with all the doctor's pictures on it. Guess what happened? They were all off kilter. And I fixed it for them. And I said, are y'all going to deduct that service off of our bill? All right. Again, I want to make sure that my flags stay straight because of just what I talked about. It'll drive me crazy if it's not. Now, our last little one is our other eagle over here. And we're going to bring that resin up over him. Give him a nice little bath. Maybe he hasn't been catching a lot of fish. So he needs a bath. We're going to give him one. All right. There we go, y'all. Look, that's just how easy that is. And I promise you, because the way this camera records, everything is upside down to me. So when I turn this camera off, you can bet I'm going to turn it around so I can see it. And still, I will have time to fix anything that's off kilter or not lined up, etc. Because that's another issue with my, what I call self-diagnosed OCD, is I like everything symmetrical. I want it lined up, equal to this side, equal to that side. Did any of y'all experience that at all? Tell me I'm not alone where that's concerned. All right. I want you guys to know this too. We're almost at 30 minutes. Today's flying by, y'all. I'm just going to add a little more resin. I want to make sure, especially our little eagles, are covered. Just pour the rest of it. All right. So that's all of that done. And that's only covered a little bit. Look, y'all, the resin is only, can you see that? No. Can you see this? The resin is, right here is the resin level. So there's a good 3/4 of an inch to an inch, maybe an inch and a half left that's not covered in resin. So it's plenty of room for a tray to hold necklaces or rings or whatever. So there's all that. Let me throw my handy dandy cup away. All right. So y'all, that's as easy. That's all it takes to elevate your piece. That wasn't hard, right? Is that something you feel like you can do yourself? So easy. And you see, and I'll hold it up because I want you guys to really see. See that glistening in the resin? Are y'all picking up the glistening on the camera on my phone? I hope so, because it's beautiful. It really adds that sparkle. And we don't have a lot of sunlight today because we're getting snow. So I can't really take a good picture in the sun to show you the sparkle. But I'll take some pictures and make sure that you can see that sparkle up close. And I just wipe my utensils down. So guess what? I can put it away. It's ready for its next. All done. Wipe my stick off. Clean the edges too. Don't forget that. And it's all ready to use again. I just put it in my little holder over there. Throw those away. And there's that. Now, there's something I did want to talk to you guys about that I have coming up. Y'all love my tips and tricks, right? There's a lot of them. And there's something that a lot of people have been asking me about molds. And a lot of things have been coming up because people are seeing how projects are adhering to the mold. They're sticking. Well, they're still using fire. They're still using long lighters and torches. That's one of the main things. But also, I have a way that you can prolong your mold, condition it. So we're going to talk about some of those ways. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to go slow. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to give y'all some more tips and tricks and ways you can prolong the use of your silicone mold. Avoid having your project stick to your piece. And I'm actually going to do one. I'm going to do it on purpose. I'm going to use heat on a project and let it meld to my silicone and show you what I mean. Okay? So we're going to do that. Whew. My hands are sweating in the gloves today. Wow. So be on the lookout. We're going to have that coming up. I also have this beautiful rose jar I showed y'all last time. I have not, because I'm undecided. I'm deciding if I should use my magic pour the resin-crete, or if I should do a black behind this for the lid, and then maybe do the bottom with pearls or some glitter, maybe some gold leaf. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So that's what's taking so long with that mold, because I'm undecided. I know we all struggle with that. You have a whole bunch of ideas and you don't know what you want to do with it. So we're going to finish that, I promise. And I'm going to make it on mine. I'm going to stick to it, and we're just going to do it. Now, like I said, speaking of huskies, there you go. Husky hairs always want to grab on, not let go. But we're going to let this cure. It's going to be finished. It can be set in your bedroom. It can be set in your dining room. You can use it for whatever. Throw your rings in there if you're washing your hands or doing dishes, or if you're doing your nighttime routine and you have this in your bathroom, you can throw your rings, jewelry, bracelets, whatever, while you get in the shower and you do your nighttime cleansing routine. Or maybe it's in the morning and you're doing your makeup. Whatever. These things always come in handy. They're a huge hit. Everyone loves them. I love them. I hope you guys learned something from this. And I told you I'm doing a giveaway today. I told you guys that. So let's do that before I forget. I don't want to forget. All right, are you ready? Here we go. Giving 5 memberships away. And I'm doing something special for my members this month. Hopefully, if you're not a member already, you just click that little join button and join us. And let me tell y'all, I started a new channel. Did y'all see that? I have a second channel now. And what we do is we review videos of other artists. So if there's a video that you've seen, but you don't know how they achieved their end project, leave me a comment with the artist name and the video. And if I can, I'm going to double check permissions and all that kind of stuff. But really and honestly, it's going to be fair use because I'm using it for education. So if you see that, then let me know. Leave me a comment. And we'll go from there. And we'll go over it together. We'll break it down step by step. So it is KSC, Cat Southern Charms, 3 letters, KSC Resin Review. Go join the channel if you haven't. That's all you need to do. Just click subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And give me some ideas. What kind of videos do you want me to break down? Because I see a lot of watch me work videos and they don't explain anything. And people want to be able to duplicate that technique, but they don't know how. So I'm going to take those kind of videos and break it down step by step so it's easier for beginners to be able to create something that beautiful and understand the process of how they got there. So y'all, that's all we have for this live. I am so glad you joined today. I hope those of you in the snow path are stocked up. You have your hot chocolate, your hot toddies. If you're into a more spirit-based drink, lots of firewood, lots of blankets. Either curl up with a great book by the fireplace and take some me time. You deserve that. We all need to take that me time. Or lock yourself in a craft room and have some fun. Anyway, y'all, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. That's all we have for this one. So until next time, happy arting. Ta-ta for now.